Choo-choo. Affirmation station, affirmation station. What's today's affirmation? Welcome, sunshine, to Affirmation Station. My name is Charente Carr, and I am the conductor on this here train where we learn how to maintain our mind, our body, and our spirit before departing to the next destination. This stop has transfers to the best day ever on platform 2 or the worst day ever on platform 3. Choose wisely on how you're going to see your day on today. Like every show, I'll be walking you through 4 exercises to kickstart or invigorate your day with your mind at peace, your soul feeling loved, and your body yada yada feeling right. For today's topic, I actually interviewed Bennett about EFT, emotional freedom tagging, the third exercise that we do on the show, and how it affects relationships. We would discuss how the mind perceives the past, present, and future experiences as it's happening right now in this present moment, and how this affects our emotions and relationships. We'll also explore some important self-awareness, communication, and letting go of attachments tips, okay, in this episode, so stay tuned. But first, we have some fun exercises to do so that you can easily follow along with this episode. I want you to listen out for these 2 sounds. This first sound is... This sound means that we're about to begin an exercise. And if you hear this sound, this means the exercise has come to the close. Let's go ahead to the pre-workout. Welcome to the pre-workout. Let's ease some energy that has been stagnant. Wake it, shake it up just a little bit more. We're going to do a pre-workout with our hands. I learned this technique from Lois Hampson, who is a frequent guest on Affirmation Station. So what I want you to do is like the hokey pokey. I want you to put your hands out. Don't recommend to do this if you're currently driving because hands on the wheel. Okay. Do so. And if it's safe for you to do so, go ahead and start shaking your hands, shaking them just like you just don't care. Shake, get up. Shake your hands. Yeah, and stop. Exercise completed. Now that we know the sounds that abound on this ground, let's head to our first exercise. This exercise is called Say It and Claim It. This is all about speaking words of affirmation. So if you're feeling down, remember it is a-okay to frown. Just remember to speak yourself back up with compliments because you deserve it, or saying I love you. The instructions for this exercise are very simple. Say these affirmations with me inside of your mind with that beautiful imagination of yours, or say these out loud with that beautiful voice of yours. If you're looking for that maximum benefit, say these affirmations in front of a mirror or your front camera. It's time to repeat after me to keep you free. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I am loved. I trust myself. I honor myself. I value myself. I approve of myself. Every day and in every way, my life gets better and better. You can stop repeating after me. You did it, and I am so proud of you for speaking life into yourself today. Now let's head to the next exercise. Now let's move to the next exercise. This exercise is called the breeze of breathing. This is where we focus on our life force, our chi, our prana, if you will. Breathing is a natural thing that our body does without us even asking. Today, we're going to consciously breathe because it allows us to energize our body, focus our mind, and tap into our inner light that powers us up to say, "Hi, how are you?" Today, we're going to be doing the 4-4-4-4 method, also known as the box technique. And it goes a little something like this. It begins by us inhaling through our nose for 4 counts, holding for 4 counts, exhaling for 4 counts, and holding again for 4 counts, just to repeat it all over again. Don't worry, because your bestie is going to be directing you the entire way. Okay? I just want to give you this quick little disclaimer. If you start feeling lightheaded, please soften or slow your approach or just simply stop. If you're pregnant or think you're pregnant, do not hold the breath. Just breathe slow and follow along. Now let's begin. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. One more time now. In. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Go back into naturally breathing. Exercise completed. Now that your body is relaxed, let's move to the next exercise. This exercise is called Tap It In. In this exercise, we're going to be doing the emotional freedom technique, also known as EFT tapping, which is an alternative therapy for anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, chronic pain, weight loss, and many, many other conditions. Pause. This exercise is not recommended if you're currently driving or operating heavy machinery. No matter if you're in good health, pregnant, or experiencing illness, please be gentle with the taps on your body, yada yada. Now back to our regular scheduled show. Today, we're going to be doing 2 taps, and they're going to be the karate chop and the thymus tap. Here are the instructions for this one. You first have to accept what you're feeling right now, in this moment. Please know that this feeling is simply a part of your alert system. If you see the movie Inside Out, then you know that all of these emotions make up who you are, and there's nothing wrong with any of them. They're a wonderful thing to the background music of our life story. I feel like I've talked enough for you to accept what you're feeling like right now. We are pairing the taps with affirmations. We're using the affirmations from Say It and Claim It. Let's start with tapping on the side of your hand, because that is the karate chop point. And just so you know, the thymus is tapping on your chest bone. You can rub that area or lightly tap on that area, and it is A-OK. I also like to call it the Tarzan tap. Okay, so how to do this particular tap for the karate chop is to literally strike your hand down on your other hand, like a hi-ya karate chop, like Jackie Chan, in a center block. But you are the center block, and we, like I said, be careful with ourselves. Secondly, is when we are doing this exercise, what is it helping us with actually? Well, doing the karate chop dissolves feeling stuck and allows ease in moving forward, letting go, healing from trauma, and the ability to be happy in the present moment. And the thymus, why we do that, is because it literally centers us back into our now present moment, and it boosts our immune system because, y'all, Our body is constantly helping us live. So it is dying to itself every day. And we're helping the process along because there's nothing wrong with it. You have death, so you have rebirth. Why not? Why not? So with all that being said, I think you're ready to do this exercise. So let's start by tapping on the side of your hand and repeat after me. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I am loved. Pause repeating after me. Switch to tapping on your thymus, also known as your chest bone. Resume repeating after me. I trust myself. I honor myself. I value myself. I approve of myself. Every day and in every way, my life gets better and better. Pause tapping and repeating after me. Exercise completed. Now it's time for the final exercise, also known as venting gratitude. This is where we vent gratitude for whatever it is that we want to appreciate and uplift on our lives. The instructions are simple for this one. Just start out by saying thank you and list whatever it is that you're thankful for. We do this in a rampage style, so that simply means that we're going to go in on whatever it is that we're grateful for until the exercise comes to a close. How you'll know is you will hear the exercise closed sound, which lets you know that we're stopping the rampage. So let's go ahead and begin. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this body. Thank you for my face. Thank you for my skin. Thank you for all of the tissues in my body. Thank you so much for my husband. Thank you so much for my puppy. Thank you so much for my team. Thank you so much for my mentor. Thank you so much for my mom, my sister, my aunts and uncles. Thank you so much for all of my cousins. Thank you so much for all of my friends. Thank you so much for my audience on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and everywhere else that I am currently present. I just want to thank you so much for each and every single one of their lives. And thank you that we have a harmonious relationship. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for the homework that I do. Thank you so much for the work that I do. Thank you so much for the job I currently have. Thank you so much for the finances coming through. Thank you so much for all the breakthroughs that you have unleashed in my life. I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Woo-hoo! You are on fire today. You did it yet again, and I'm so proud of you. You poured so much love into yourself, and it's time to celebrate ourselves because we're great with us just being us. You don't have to do anything for you to celebrate yourself. So clap with me and give yourself a round of applause. Woo-hoo! I'm so proud of my bestie. Yeah. Exercise completed. Head to the website affirmationsstationshow.com to join the Facebook community and check out the new merch. I was so excited about it. I worked with Soda Online, aka my girl Holly, to come up with an animated character of myself that's going to be the face of all of the merch. Okay, she's so adorable. You got to check her out. Okay, she Tay. She adorable. Also, if you want to work with me, head to CharenteCarr.com, CharenteCarr.com. Hey, we've made it to the topic section, and I am so honored. I told you guys I'm going to be bringing more subject matter experts in because y'all hear my mouth all the time. I do my research, I give you my citing of my sources, but at the same time, I wanted to bring people that you can hear it from their experience, okay, what they're doing to help shape their lives. And right now, I have Dawn with me. And Donna, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to be talking about, a little bit of EFT and relationships, okay? And specifically how the mind is in the past, present, and future when it comes to building relationships. Is that correct?
That is correct. So think about it this way. If you think about an argument you had in a relationship a few years ago, and you really think about it, you can get yourself all worked up and mad and feel it in your body, right? Or if you're knowing you're going to go home and you get yourself talking about what's going to happen. Oh, here's how they're going to react, and you get yourself all worked up. The brain sees it all as right now. So it doesn't matter if it happens in the past, doesn't matter if it happens in the future. We feel and experience everything as right now. So your brain is pulling everything in as right now. So whatever it is that we're trying to do is impacting us in the moment.
Oh my God. Y'all, that is impactful. She's not the only one that says it. I will give you another person to listen to, Joe Dispenza. He lets us know how many thoughts that we have going on in our mind. And there's an estimate between 50 to 72,000 thoughts. And 92% are the thoughts that we thought yesterday. 92%. It's wild to even think about.
I know. It's nuts. And we delete, distort, generalize the same things over and over and over again. And it impacts our relationships. So this is really interesting. I just saw something on the Gottman Institute, and they were talking about how when you're in a relationship that you're unhappy in, you miss over half of the good things that your partner does because all you're focused on is the bad things. So even when they're trying to fix themselves, when they're trying to do the things that you ask, you're still focused on the crap. So you miss all the good things because that's where your mind's at.
Oh my God. Biggest facts I have ever heard. Biggest facts ever. But before we really dive in, because I'm already diving in, y'all, I asked on, can you tell us about your background and your experience and what drew you into helping people with their relationships? I'm so sorry.
No, you're great. You're great. So I've been working in the kind of alternative healing realm for 26 years, right? Working with mind, body experience, classical homeopathy, tapping, which is also called EFT, hypnotherapy, neurolinguistic programming, which is how the words impact our mind and our bodies, and how do we see the world. I got into relationships because my core values, well, besides playfulness, is people want to be loved. That's why we're here as humans. We want to be connected. We want to be loved. We're mammals, but we're also I want to be part of the herd. But wait, I want to be independent and cool. But wait, I want to be part of the herd. But wait, I got to, So we're in this mix. And I really wanted to understand what was happening in the mind at really deep levels that we could shift in order to find more connection and more love with ourselves and others.
I love that. I hear y'all. What y'all don't know, everyone thinks that I'm super confident all the time. And I'm like, what you fail to realize is I do NLP. I have a trigger that I personally do to get myself in my confidence spirit. Okay. Because sometimes please know I'm a majority introvert. Let me stay home. Everything that I need is at my house. I just recently got a rebounder and a walking pad. I don't need to leave this house. I'm good. I am good. But at the same time, how I turn myself on is I hold my fingers together like this, and I do a deep breath and I say on. That's really those are my triggers to get myself turned on and say, hey, I'm here, I'm present, let's get this going, and kind of thing. And I love that is your line of work. You've also, when you guys look at healers, there's so many different modalities, aka so many different studies that people are using to help them stay in their wholeness. Because we've already been whole. We're not broken. None of us are broken. We just are not recognizing our greatness within us. And I have a question for you, my love.
All right.
You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do
this. The question I have for you is, I am now almost in a 6-year marriage, and I'm really proud of us because we knew each other for 3 months, and I said, you know what? I want to marry you. Got down on one knee, married him, and then the abandonment and the neglect from my father and him not being there came in. And I started putting all of that frustration of that relationship that I wanted with my father figure on my husband.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that's a clear example of, I think, what you're talking about by the past being the present and also the future. And so my question is, how does one go about completely untriggering themselves and removing the trigger altogether of the frustration from using a past relationship to dictate their current relationship?
So the deepest, fastest way to do it is by shifting whatever belief is underneath that, or whatever situation created the abandonment, right? That's the fastest way. But the fact that you're aware of it and working on it, that alone is a huge thing. Like when I work with couples, we talk a lot about half the arguments are about like, hey, I don't feel heard or seen, or like you care about me. And the other person's like, what do you mean I don't feel heard? You don't feel heard or seen. Look at all what I'm doing for you. That's what we're all saying underneath. And then, but instead it sounds like you didn't wash the dishes. Oh yeah, well, you didn't see that I mowed the lawn. Oh yeah, well, you never take care of the kids. And we're blaming when underneath we're going like, hey, are you here for me? Are you connecting to me? And that abandonment thing is huge, because as humans, like that's our survival instinct kicking in, right? And so learning or looking at all the ways, like refocusing your mind on what are all the ways he is here for me? What are all the ways he is showing up for me? And really, once again, when you're focusing on that, then you're not seeing all the ways that he could be going or it could be abandoning, right? Because now where focus goes, energy flows. Right? You're looking at the good things he's doing rather than the other stuff that's in the past. So it's twofold.
I love it, because I was like, I tell people all the time, I was like, you need to be mindful what you're focusing on. Because if you're focusing on whatever you focus on appreciates, whatever appreciates, that means that it can feel like, I will say, a calm, like beach warm front, or it can feel like a hurricane and tsunami just came in and you said, whoop. It is literally you having the realize that I tell people on the show that your emotions are the background track of your life, because you are the main character. And I've gotten to this point where I told my mom this a while ago when I was a lot younger, and I was like, I don't want to be independent. I want to be interdependent. I want to be able to be independent, but also still love others and still build community together, knowing that we're full, whole beings each, but together, we're the multiplication factor of amazingness put together. And so my question for you now is, for those struggling with strong, passionate emotions, okay? What are some initial steps that they can use to approach neutralizing those emotions? Because I know for me, I squirrel out. That's what I tell people. I'm like, y'all, I act like Doug from Up. Squirrel, okay, there's a lamp there. Squirrel, there's a light over there. Squirrel, there's a calendar. I'm going to look at this calendar. That's literally sometimes what I'd have to do.
Yeah.
To get myself off of the situation, the circumstance, or whatever is the trigger. So my question to you is, what do you use? What do you get people to use? Because that's what I use. Not everyone can use what I use and it works.
Right. Exactly. That's why I learned tapping, emotional freedom techniques. So not all tapping is emotional freedom techniques, but you can literally acknowledge what you're feeling right now, tap on certain points, and not only does it calm your whole nervous system, but it changes the way that your brain accesses that whole group of memories. So you can tap on, let's say, abandonment, like, even though right now I'm feeling abandoned, I know that my husband loves me, or I love myself. And your body goes, oh, so even though there's this thing over here, it's actually pretty cool, and that's all right. And your whole body calms down, and it shifts the way you see things. It shifts the way that your neurology works and what your brain is accessing. So that's one of my favorite, like, really quick keys. And it works even in arguments, although you can't be like, look what you're making me do. This is how upset you're making me. Like you don't want to do that. That's not super helpful. But you can hold points or rub points or tap your fingertips together or tap the sides of your legs in certain spots, right? And it calms the body down. Of course, deep breaths do the same thing, like really, but feel it breathing all the way down into your feet. Or just finding like, how right now am I safe? How right now am I connected either to myself or to my other person? Because emotions, when we get emotions, energy, emotion, but we get up in our heads. And when we tune back into our hearts, deep into our bodies, feel ourselves on the earth, then we can have more calm and clarity and confidence and choice and make decisions about how we want to react. Even if that means like, I'm so ticked off right now, I'm going to go in the other room. And you just hold on a minute, we'll come back in an hour or whatever it is, right? Or I feel the need to escape right now, so I'm going to. And it doesn't mean I'm mad at you or that I hate you or that I'm abandoning you. But right now, I don't know how to react except to escape. And so it's not about you, it's about me. So sometimes just those clear little communication pieces are amazing.
Girl, you have me writing notes. I'm just like, I want to ask you about that. I want to ask you about this. Y'all, you guys can see this because you guys are watching this on YouTube on my replay, but I'm just like, let me just take some notes because what she's saying is facts. So she's talking about when you're doing EFT and you're tapping on certain points and you're doing this when I walk you guys through that and the affirmations that I walk you through, you're taking the time to ground yourself back in your body. Because when you're experiencing strong emotion and your thoughts are going, you have built an imaginary palace up there. And you are in your palace and you're having a full tantrum in your palace, but not in your actual body. And what I mean by that is when you take the time to feel yourself, you're like, ooh, I don't like the way that feels. Okay, I got to shift this. I need to go walk or something. Like this needs to get out of me. And I can say is that when you do that, you are actually taking the time to trust yourself more because you know that you truly can get better. And then giving yourself a timeout. I remember back when I was younger, my mom would just say, I'm on timeout. I'm in my room. Please don't come into my room. When I come out my room, I'm good to have a conversation. But right now, I'm on timeout. I didn't say anything wrong, but I'm on timeout. Okay. And I'm like, I don't understand you, lady, but okay, whatever. And I got the advice in my relationship, you should never go to bed angry. Sometimes you need to because you realize that you were just tired and you had no business yelling at all. And then you apologize. Mm-hmm. And I can say apologizing doesn't make you weak. It makes you strong. And something that I use mid-conversation, just in my mind, I like saying Ho'oponopono, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And I literally am chanting in myself because it's calming myself down. It's releasing the positivity. And then the person starts actively changing. And they're like, what's going on? And I'm like, I'm Ho'oponoponoing right now. Because if they really ask, I'm like, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. They're like, oh, okay. And then and my husband, I'm like, you already know. He's like, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love it. We say it together and we're both calm because we had to figure out how do we calm ourselves down. And so that is something that we use to help build the trust, build the love, build the joy, build the laughter, and build the life that we want to have together. And so what I have another question for you because something came to my mind as I was saying that. There's a lot of people that are around me that are choosing divorce over choosing to work through the issues. Can you speak to that? Like why do you think that's happening? Is it because they want to run away? The person's not doing enough? Because there's a lot of men and women whose their partner left and they don't get it. They're like, I did everything. I thought I heard them. I thought I saw them. I thought we were going to go to therapy to try to figure this out, but they still left. This doesn't make sense.
Right. There's so many aspects I could speak to that from because sometimes it's that you weren't in the right relationship to start with, right? Like, here's the thing, like relationships can last a moment. Like you and I could run into each other at the grocery store, have like a super cool moment of connection and never see each other again. And that can be just as powerful as a 10-year marriage. right? Like, so I was married for 2 years. My husband and I were like, we're actually going to honor our vows more if we break up and become friends. So I was just at his second marriage on Memorial Day weekend, right? I went to his wedding with his new wife and with my boyfriend, right? So like, there are some times where it is time to just honor that it is time to be done, right? And of course, then there's sometimes like abusive and not very healthy situations and betrayal. Mm-hmm. And wherever you go, there you are. So if you're leaving a relationship because you're not getting what you need, how much of that's coming from you and what you're seeing and what you learned? There's so many aspects to it, right? How much is them? How much is you? It's all you. Let me tell you that, right? At some level, because you chose to be there. You chose to interact. And I'm not victim blaming or victim shaming or anything like that. But there's, people get in chaos because they're comfortable with chaos. People get in chaos because, I've done it. I had to climb out a window when I was 26 in one of my relationships, So like, I get that sometimes you're like, how did that go to that? And it's just time to be done. And maybe I should have been done years ago. I didn't really answer your question because it's complex. But what I do want to say for people that are going through divorce challenges is do the best to work on yourself even before you work on your relationship, because your partner and the relationship are like a triangle. And when you work on one, you're affecting both, just like your ho'oponopono. I always say that wrong. Your ho'oponopono, right? You change, then they naturally have to change. When your triggers change, what they say to you doesn't trigger you anymore. That changes the whole relationship dynamic, right? So when we can work on ourselves or our feelings of safety or feelings of abandonment, whatever it is, everything can become a little more focused. And yeah, it still hurts. Like, it still hurt when my husband and I got divorced. I love him very much. It still took a long time to heal. And it was the healthiest thing for us at that point in time. Right.
Thank you so much. And I know it was a very complex question. So I was like, you really can't answer this, but you know what? I want you to, just give us from your perspective, because that's why I love bringing on different people, because we get more and more gems in our toolkit. And then you can pull up these gems and say, you know what, this is what I'm going to use. And something me and my mom talk about a lot, because my mom is a therapist, a retired therapist. So I've been having therapy since the womb. Okay. And something she always tells me, she's like, if you're feeling not so strong in you, you've done this to yourself. So where have you cheated yourself? Where were you dishonest with yourself? When did you first pick at yourself? And then I go back and I'm like, well, dang, Flabbit. She right. Dang, Flabbit. Where's Toodles when I need her? The Mickey Mouse Clubhouse? Where are my tools at? Like, what am I going to use to dismantle this one? Because this is not going to be a gun in my life no more pointed at me. And it can go off at any time. I'm done with that. And something else that I can say is that what I also realize is, even if it's not something that is in this lifetime, it's about to get very deep, y'all. It was from a previous lifetime, and it was an ancestor that did this. And that's what the Bible, if you guys believe in the Bible, talks about with generational curses. They're not really curses if you have the awareness of what they are, so you don't repeat the pattern over and over again, because that's why history repeats itself, because so many people are unaware that it just naturally starts going. Because when you have awareness, you can what? Facilitate a change. Y'all already know what I say on this show. You already know. You have to have the awareness, because if you don't even know, then you don't know. It's the Johari's window. I think that's what it's called, where it's your blind spot. Then it's the unknown things. And you're like, you really don't know what you don't know. And there's nothing wrong not knowing. You can take the steps actively, one step at a time, though, to get more in awareness of what will work for you. And something else that I want to ask you, because we're going to have to wrap up, and I'm sad that we have to wrap up because I like talking to you so much. Okay.
Again. For sure.
Definitely. Because I'm like, let me build this bridge and let me cross it. Okay. I've crossed it, y'all. So my question to you is, do you have any final thoughts or takeaways for the listeners to improve their relationships, not only with themselves, but also with others?
So I wrote a book called What Happened to My Friendships During COVID. And one of the books that I recommend, or what I ask people to look at, is what are they attached to in accordance to their identity? So Don Miguel Ruiz talks about the 5 levels of attachment, right? Have you read the book?
I have.
So great,
I have
right?
it.
So sometimes we get attached to the way we think someone should be or the way they should say things. And when they don't do that, we get personally offended because it threatens our safety, our identity, who we are, instead of just being like, okay, well, I'm attached to that. Let me let the attachment go. And I think that happens broad-based in our society right now, around religion, around politics, around whatever you want to name, soccer games, football games. We got people running each other with buses. Like, that's a high level of attachment versus like, that was a cool game, So same thing happens in relationships. What are we attached to as far as our beliefs, ideals, how we believe we should or shouldn't be treated, and what that looks like. And sometimes, of course, that's totally appropriate, but is it an attachment or is it like that deep-seated need, value, and principle? Because those things are different.
Oh, yeah.
Principles and attachments.
Mm-hmm. And I can say this is, some people don't like this about me, and I tell them, I was like, what you got to be able to understand is I don't have attachments to a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So when I say bye, like, I could probably not ever talk to you ever again, and I'm fine with that. And it's not because I don't love you. It's because I know that we took the time to co-create what we created, and that creation was enough. And if we decide to go and co-create something else, that's still going to be awesome, but it's not required because my love survives on. And so I love that. And I'll quickly say this as we close out. Y'all, in my marriage, we went to marriage counseling, but first we went to individual counseling and we got the help that we needed by ourselves. And when we came together, my husband told me, I just want you to take care of you fully. That's it. And I was like, here I am trying to be this like Proverbs 31 woman and all these things that society tells me I need to be. And I just need to take care of me. So I will say, have the communication, talk things out, and it's going to be all right. So now we're going to head to the not the topic section. Oh my gosh. Now we're going to head to the gift section where I'm going to let you know what we're currently offering. Can you share with the audience where they can find you?
Yeah. So I know you've got a big YouTube following. I'm at the & Your Unified Mind on YouTube, so people can learn tapping and get hypnotherapy videos. Otherwise, for your audience, I'm also offering a free online tapping course. It's like 30 minutes. You can listen to it in the car. It's got a PDF. It's got all the things. It's got a 6-minute video. And you can find that at unifiedmind.info/EFT self-care. Because I think y'all need to heal yourselves in the most positive and powerful way and empowering way that you can, right? Like we get to, it's part of our birthright to find the joy and the love with each other and ourselves.
Oh, yeah. And I could just feel the positive energy from over here. And I'm like, it feels good to feel good. So Thank you guys for listening. And you know what? Let's go ahead and close out. Oh, snap, crackle, pop. It's time that we head out to the next stop. I'm not saying that you could have to get out of bed or that you get off work because I don't got that clearance. I'm just saying that the train is going full steam ahead. I want to thank you so much for riding with me to Affirmation Station. You may now exit the train and head to your next destination. There are transfer lines available for the best day ever on platform 2 or the worst day ever on platform 3. Choose wisely on how you're going to see your day on today. See you next episode of Affirmation Station Show, where I am super excited to be able to talk with Malcolm Grissom. And y'all, this was one of the most uplifting conversations I've had in a long time. Y'all stay tuned. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, life is a collection of nows, so let's make one perfect together. I love you to infinity and beyond. Ta-ta for